From Relay, this is Connected, episode 529. Today's show is brought to you by ZocDoc, Ecamm, Squarespace, and Masterclass. I am your Ricky Benchman, Myke Hurley, and I have the pleasure of introducing Federico Viticci. Ciao, Federico.
Hello, Myke, and it's good to be back. I miss
Welcome
being
back,
on the
Federico.
show. Thank you. And it's also my pleasure, since I'm back, to introduce Stephen Hackett. Hello, Stephen.
Hello, Federico. Welcome back.
Hi. Thank you. How are you guys? You doing good?
Yeah, good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Stephen, are you cooking the turkey for Thanksgiving?
I was like, there was such a good pause on that. It's
Let
like,
him cook.
are you cooking? You better believe it. He's cooking up.
No, because some people buy them. You
Mm.
know, do you cook or do you buy?
So there's a more complicated answer to this. I'm not cooking or
Interesting.
buying a turkey. We did buy like a honey baked ham. So we live in our hometown, right? All of our parents and aunts and uncles are here. And even as like people in our late 30s, late 30s, we still, I'm not really complaining because I don't want to do this, but like we are not the people who host the holidays. Like we still go to like our parents' houses or like
You're still kids
still kids.
when it comes to the holidays.
And so we are bringing like things to other people's Thanksgiving dinners. I think we're going to 4
Right.
this year, but it's
Wait. 4?
so
Oh, so it's more like a period. It's not like a single Thanksgiving day.
it's a Thanksgiving period. That's right.
Okay.
It starts
the season
tonight.
of giving.
Season of Thanksgiving. It starts tonight and runs through Saturday, I think is our last one. But you know, we've got to go see like my father-in-law's family, and then we're going to go see my mother-in-law, and then we're going to see my mom, and then we're going to see somebody else. Like it's a lot.
Okay.
I'm sure it's nice, but it's also rough.
Yeah, what are
You
you
know.
bringing? What are you bringing? Mashed potatoes? What are you bringing?
Some salad stuff tonight, like a broccoli
Okay.
salad. Mashed
really
potatoes to one place.
Okay.
That's better.
Yeah, I don't want to eat the broccoli salad.
It's just a thing. You just take it to every one of the get-togethers because
Yeah.
nobody eats
Nobody eats it. Mary was making it yesterday, and I came in and she was like dumping grated cheese into it. I was like, "Oh no, I can't eat it." You know, like what a
it.
bummer.
Oh no,
Oh,
terrible!
no.
Oh, I was looking forward to it so much.
I know. As I don't, yeah. So we're just we're bebopping around. My brother-in-law is going to come stay with us, and it's going to be good. It'll be a good time.
Very cool.
Yeah. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some giving of thanks at the end of the show today.
That's right. But first, we have follow-up. Federico, many people suggested LLM tools for you to cram your iOS and iPad OS reviews into, so then you could do like LLM things out of them. Really, so you don't have to
Mhm.
write one ever again. You just tell it what you want next year.
Sure.
The top contender was Google's Notebook LM, which
Yeah, this
lots of
seems
people
like-
wrote in and said it was
yeah.
perfect for.
Yeah,
This
I
is
think
the
it's
thing that makes the podcasts.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of many
Yeah.
things it does.
No, yeah, but this is what I think people mostly know it for that, right?
Right.
Because that's the thing that kind of went
Yeah.
viral. Like it can make like the podcast.
I mean, y'all haven't recorded an episode of Analog in months. It's just been Notebook LM.
It's just well. Here's the thing: multiple people have written into me to be like, "Hey, that sounds like Gray," as if it's like a thing that is happening or I can do anything about. But people think that one of the voices sounds like Gray, which I can only hear in the sense of like just a slightly gravelly American. It's like that's kind of as
Yeah.
far as I hear it. But
He
there you go.
is kind of gravelly. Here's the thing, though. Let's just step back
Yeah.
for a second. So Gray's job is to read a bunch of stuff and write a
Yeah.
script to make a video.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically an LLM.
I'm not comfortable with where this conversation is going.
I'm just saying.
I don't want to be here while this conversation's happening. Bye.
Other people suggested tools that support retrieval augmented generation or RAG.
Yeah, I've
or
seen that. I never
RAG.
heard of that before. Yeah.
Yeah.
RAG.
I hear people say RAG a lot. And
Yeah.
now this is the first time that I've heard the full acronym or whatever. It
Yeah.
was, like, the reverse of it.
And so chat doc and paper chat were two things that were suggested here. Chat doc.
Cut that.
And then you may have been actually pretty close with Claude. On Claude Pro or Claude for Work, they have a projects feature that may also take care of this for you. So lots of suggestions.
So let me offer some answers.
Okay.
Claude won't work. That's what I already tried with projects.
Even Claude projects. Did you try Claude projects?
Yeah, obviously. I have my projects. No. You can. Yeah, the reviews. If I go over 3 reviews, I go over the character limit for because these projects, the reference files, they're basically input tokens for the project. So you're going over the limit, and it's like it becomes a longer conversation, and Claude cannot have it. So that won't work. However, I literally just tried, as Steven was talking, Notebook LM, and it seems to be working. I just fed it 10 iOS reviews, which are the 10 reviews I've published, and it did a very quick scan. And then I asked, when did widgets become interactive? That's sort of my first question. And it said interactive widgets were introduced to the home and lock screens in iOS 17. And it's got, this is actually very nice because it's got a reference that I can click, and it takes me to the point in one of the reviews where I mentioned this. So it's linked to the source in a way that allows me to click and see my exact words. It's called the source guide. Let's see, do you guys have any question about the past of iOS that we can double check?
How many different versions of Control Center have there been?
How many different designs?
Yeah, different designs.
Different designs of Control Center have there been.
So this is interesting because I just actually hit the same problem as you did. So preparing for the Yearly Themes episode of Cortex, and I wanted to just upload the transcripts of all of the episodes because I always struggle with trying to like very concisely explain yearly themes like in audio. Like I always feel like I could do a better job. And so I wanted to get its help, but it was like it couldn't. The transcripts were too long. It was just like Claude was just like, I can't do anything with this. This is too much. So I didn't bother in the end.
Let's see. Control Center design through the years. 4 distinct designs. iOS 7, the debut of Control Center. Is that right? Was that iOS 7?
Yeah, 7.
iOS 9, this iteration featured friendlier, rounder buttons. iOS 10, this was a radical shift that abandoned the single-page design. Yeah, this is accurate. iOS 11, this redesign reverted to a single-page layout. iOS 18. Okay, so this is funny. So it got it right from iOS 7 to iOS 11. I also fed it the iOS 18 review. Let me double check. I did feed it the iOS 18 review, right? Yes, I did. And it says at the very end, iOS 18, parentheses, not a real version. Introduced a redesigned Control Center. So what it's doing here is it is analyzing and quoting my iOS 18 review, but I'm betting that because of a knowledge cutoff, it thinks that iOS 18 is fake. iOS 18, not a real version.
Yeah. I understand. Because the system
thinks
doesn't
that
know iOS 18 exists.
Oh, yeah. This information is only found in the sources within the context of an iOS 18 review, which does not exist as of October 26, 2023.
There you go.
Hilarious.
Incredible.
That's fantastic. You could feed Gemini with like fake info now if you wanted to, maybe. I don't know.
Or you could invent new versions of iOS, basically.
This is actually quite impressive for me.
I might try this too.
It's basically a search engine for my own reviews, which are we mentioned like it's what was it? Over 500,000 words?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is great.
I might give this a go.
Why is all of this free? Why is this free? Why?
Because
where's the catch?
Well. Because everybody wants to charge money for these tools, but nobody knows if they can. So everybody has to try a bunch of things to see if any people care about any of them. And then as soon as you care about them, they can turn them into real products. But right now, it's absolutely unknown if anybody like truly cares about these tools, right? So here you go, have it for free.
Yeah, Notebook LM. Well, this is gonna be especially the part about like linking back to the exact paragraph where I say something. That's perfect because it allows me to actually copy myself when necessary.
Interesting.
Cool.
I asked Chat GPT 4.0, which I've been playing with, and I did not feed it your reviews, obviously. And 4, iOS 17, iOS 10, iOS 11, and iOS 18. You are not amongst the sources.
Rough.
Sick burn.
Mm-hmm.
Good news. iPhone mirroring. It's pretty good.
Yeah. You're using this a lot, huh?
I am a ton every day
on your website.
Yeah.
Okay. What for?
Well, I wrote a blog post.
No, I know, but
you could feed into an LLM.
The blog posts, I don't really want to read them on the podcast, so like I kind of use the blog post as a reason to like ask you a question. It's like a typical podcasting like method of engaging in conversation.
Yeah, it's the entire business model for Upgrade, basically.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
Yeah, that's how it goes. I'm using it a bunch. I realized that it's something that has really made its way into sort of my daily work. So, like everybody, I've got iOS apps that either don't run on the Mac or like really janky on the Mac, and sometimes they're handy to get to. Although the primary one is now available on the Mac, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. But my main use is running test flight builds of Widgetsmith and Pedometer++ and Sleep++. Like as David is working on them, I can build them in Xcode and run them in the simulator, and I do that. But there are also times like it's just easier to have the test flight and or even if I'm just like helping somebody with something or like looking something up, like being able to open the app from my phone, but on the Mac and like just quickly do it. It's pretty great. The app itself, there's a little, there's some weirdness. It definitely works better with a trackpad than a mouse. Some of the gestures and stuff just don't really work if you're on a mouse. And there's no way to get to Control Center. I do this by having a shortcut, but it's not easy. They have keyboard shortcuts for like the home screen and the app switcher. So I hope that Control Center, of which there have been 4 designs apparently, that would be more easily done. Because they have keyboard shortcuts. Command 1 is home screen, Command 2 is app switcher, Command 3 is spotlight. And you can make the sizes larger or smaller of the whole phone. That was something I saw a lot in response to this blog post was, it takes up too much screen on my laptop or not enough. I want it bigger. You do have some control over that, but not a ton. But I think the big thing that's missing right now is like easy access to Control Center.
How do you change the size?
If in iPhone mirroring on the Mac, under View, there's larger and smaller.
Man, I missed that. This is like one of the reasons I haven't been using it is because I'm like, I don't think it's big enough. Okay, this is good to know. This is good to know. Yeah, it is a feature. It's like the reason I wanted to ask you about it is like it's a thing that I've used, and I'm like, this is really cool. I just don't know what I would use it for. Like for me, my iPhone is like there, like why not use my iPhone? So I love the feature. I think it's a fantastic thing. I just have yet to find like a really good use case for it of my own.
Yeah, so my question was going to be to Federico. Like, do you think this could make an impact, or has it already made an impact in your writing? Like, you're covering an iPhone app. I guess you're not using a Mac. Maybe this is a question for John. John, let us know.
Uses it. Yeah, I haven't touched my Mac in months. So
I just made it larger, and this is perfect. This is what I want.
Federico, is your Mac still cut in half?
It still is. Yes. It's still that Mac. I just don't use it anymore.
Where's the screen?
In the trash?
You got rid of it?
Yeah, I mean,
I thought
I was gonna put it back together.
I thought maybe you were storing it.
Nah, man. When it dies, it dies. Whatever, Yeah, I don't know.
I think I missed that when we talked about this the first time.
No,
that
I
might
kept
have been
it.
the first time he said that.
I kept it. Yes, I kept it initially, and then actually like a month ago, I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna put it back together. Like I'm never gonna do it. Might as well recycle. So I put it in the recycling thing and got rid of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a gamer follow up for gamers. So
okay, time to rise up, gamers. Welcome in.
Taylor wrote in Connected 528. Stephen, he spelled it with a V, but I forgive you, Taylor. Mentioned that there's never been a successful app store that wasn't part of a platform. I think Steam is the key counterexample there. It has been wildly successful and is very much not part of the Windows platform. Valve's new foray into being a hardware platform owner with a Steam Deck has been successful because of Steam, not the other way around. What do y'all think?
I agree. And I think if anyone failed, it was me for not realizing this and pointing it out in the episode.
Fake gamer.
Fake gamer, yeah. Fake gamers rise up. No, this is legit. Like, Steam have made... I mean, it's a software store, right? It's not an app store, but essentially that's the same thing. And they have been incredibly successful, and they're successful in multiple places. Obviously, their business model is different to Apple's, which is in that, like, it's not only first party, right? Like, the Steam does not only exist on the Steam Deck, right? It's on anything that can run it. They will just put it there. They don't care. Like, it's on the Mac too. Like, they'll put it anywhere that they're allowed. And if like PlayStation would let them, they'd put it on there too. Like, they will put it anywhere that they can. But they have been very successful, and even similarly, they are kind of an outlier too, where they're successful and there aren't really anybody. A lot of the other game stores doing fine, but not to Steam's level.
I completely agree. This is a very good exception. Potentially the only one.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we've seen, Epic Game Store. It's not really taking off. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I wish I thought of it, but yeah, Taylor is right.
Good job, Taylor. Good news. The Relay membership sale continues. You want to go to giverelay.com and you can get 20% off any annual plan across any show on Relay. But this is connected, right? So I'm going to tell you about Connected Pro. Connected Pro is a longer ad-free version of the show. We do each and every single week. This week we spoke about holiday planning and the new Linkin Park album. And at the end of the show, we pick titles. That's also part of Connected Pro. But it's a longer ad-free version. It is normally $70 a year, but it's 20% off right now at giverelay.com. But in addition to Connected Pro, you also get a bunch of other really cool perks. You get access to the Relay members Discord, which is the best place on the internet, access to a monthly newsletter, and a couple of monthly members-only podcasts. Myke, do you want to tell people about those?
Yeah, so these are two different podcasts that are available for all Relay members. One is called Spotlight and one is called Backstage. On Backstage, it's a monthly show where me and Stephen come together. We talk about what's going on with us with Relay. We talk about the behind-the-scenes stuff, and we take questions from Discord members. And then there's also Spotlight, where Kathy Campbell interviews a Relay host, and that can be, again, and these questions are, again, also all taken from the Discord. And these are monthly bonus content for every Relay member.
Yep. Go check it out. GiveRelay.com. This runs until December 18th. So you got a little bit of time, but now's a great time. So get it for yourself. Get it for a nerdy friend. I think you will enjoy it.
Yeah, as Stephen said, you can buy these for yourself, or you can send this to somebody in your life, who's looking to get you a stocking stuffer and be like, oh, hey, make me a cool person and get me a Relay membership.
Yep. You can put the three of us in a stocking for somebody.
And who wouldn't want that? We peek out, be like, Merry Christmas, because we'd be really small, right? So like we'd be tiny like that. So that's how we'll speak.
I was picturing a giant stocking, to be honest.
Nope, regular stocking.
Regular stocking. Tiny podcasters.
Merry Christmas.
Fallout. What's up with this, Federico?
Oh yes. Yes. I was listening to Upgrade, as I do every week.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've been listening to you and Jason, Myke, at 1.5x. I've gotten used to it now. I progressively worked my way through, starting with 1.2, 1.3 for a long time. I stayed at 1.4 because I was struggling with Jason. Not so much with you, Myke. You're more of a slow talker than Jason. But now I've gotten used to 1.5. Yeah. And anyway, Jason
people always say, right, like we hit a sort of time, you meet people and they're like, oh, you talk slower than I thought because they're used to listen to us.
Yeah.
Isn't that a problem? Because you actually, like, we're doing this right now. Am I not like really boring for you right now? Like I'm too slow for you?
No, because when we're live, there's the excitement, there's the adrenaline of being live.
The adrenaline of the moment speeds
adrenaline of Zoom, in the moment, like this is happening now. But then when you're listening to a podcast later, when it's async, as they say in Silicon Valley, then that's when I speed you up. Anyway, Jason had this really good story and this really good segment on the show about the fact that the Mac is the model for app distribution that Apple should follow and that the App Store era should end. Go read that story and go listen to that segment. I don't want to rehash all of it here, but I agree with Jason. And I was thinking, I had this thought. I don't think it's a coincidence, given that old story with the App Store, the gatekeeping, the regulations in Europe and other places. I don't think it's a coincidence that by far the biggest innovation in tech in recent years, large language models and chatbots, I don't think it's a coincidence that it's coming from the web and from web apps. I think there's a whole generation of new builders, right? Whether it's programmers or designers or people who just want to build stuff. And they're doing that on the web. They're doing that with web app and web services and web APIs. I think there's a line that you can draw from the App Store and our phones and our tablets being unwelcoming places for coders and programmers to this new generation of kids and now 20-something-year-olds, founding startups or getting hired by startups, building and going to the web as the de facto place where they can just build with no control, with no gatekeeping.
They can do it. They can progress their ideas safely, right?
Yes.
And it's actually like I really like this point of view, like because it's building on something that we were talking about on the show, right? Which is like the ideas that never happened, right?
Yes.
That there have been ideas in technology that have never come to pass because they were ultimately going to have an app that somebody knew Apple wouldn't allow.
Yeah.
And this situation is, it makes it easy to not have to worry about this stuff, that like you can have an idea for these new forms of technology. And as you say, like really it's all happening on servers and you can just have it happen on the web. And like maybe there can be an app, but it also doesn't need one. And yeah, I think you're right. I would feel confident saying that is not a coincidence. So very good point.
I went to go get that Macworld link for the show notes, and I realized, and I read this article and I linked to it. I didn't notice.
Yeah, I've seen this image so many times.
Yeah. The top photo, which is from Foundry, whatever that is a desk with an iMac. So you have the keyboard and the mouse, but the iMac is turned around. So if you were sitting here, you're looking at the back of the screen. Very confusing.
But the keyboard and mouse is in front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are two books with Macworld on the cover.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
So I think I know what those are. When I worked at the college paper, we had these. It was every year we had all of the newspapers bound into a book for archival purposes. Sense. So I would guess that those are archival magazines, and I would love to scan them. So someone send them to me, please.
I mean, look, it's obviously a good image because the Mac looks good, right?
Yeah.
You turn it around, but it's still a very funny thing to see.
Yeah.
It's like, I got to get some work done, but I don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it.
Considering Federico was very kind in bringing upgrade for follow out, I also wanted to follow out to two other podcasts. One is to Mac Power Users, episode 772, which is one half of the State of the Platform series that Stephen and David do every year, right? You do it every year.
We do.
Yeah. And it's basically looking at every device, platform, and or operating system, going through them and giving your overall thoughts on them for the year. And I thought that was really good. And obviously the second part of that, I assume, is coming this weekend.
It is Sunday afternoon, part 2.
And then the most recent episode of App Stories, Federico, you weren't on it, which is a shame. But I also really enjoyed it. Not because of that, but just like in addition to, maybe is the word I'm looking for. But basically, I enjoyed the App Stories. One True John had Brendan Bigley on the show. And again, just like, Brendan's really cool. Like, Brendan's just like so cool.
Yes,
like
we
him.
have established that you think Brendan is cool and I am not cool anymore.
You are cool, but Brendan's
not
also
as,
cool.
Not as much as Brendan.
But also, I don't know Brendan, right? So that makes him cooler.
Oh, so that's fascinating for you. I see, because it's like this aura of mystery
Yes.
around Brendan. Yes, okay.
Yeah. I would like a personal relationship with Brendan, but I don't have one, right? So he is both cool and unattainable to me. Wow. So that makes him even cooler. You know? He's just out there being cool and taking like cool photos and
being
going
unattainable
to Paris.
Also. It's yes.
And I can't get to him. So cool.
I bet he's taller than you are. Do you think he's taller than you are?
No, I think Myke is taller. Actually.
Yeah, but I think he is though. You gave me my
you
initial
perceive
instinct,
him as taller.
Giving you tall
as always,
vibes.
Yeah. I don't know if the tall thing and cool don't go together. It's like tall and like.
Right. Oh, can you
I think
be cool?
This person's smarter than me.
Can you be cool in a small package?
Yeah, you can be cool and small.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, small is cool.
Okay. I see.
Yeah.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by ZocDoc. Sometimes searching for the right doctor is a bit like bad Mad Libs. You need a blank specialist who takes your blank insurance, who is within blank miles of you. Well, ZocDoc makes it easy to fill in those blanks and help you find the right doctor for your specific needs. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality, in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty, from mental health to dental health, eye care to skin care, and so much more. You can see their actual appointment openings, choose a time that works for you, and click to instantly book a visit. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking, and you can even score same-day appointments. Finding a new doctor is stressful. It's really time-consuming. You're trying to read reviews online and make phone calls, and you get put on hold. ZocDoc makes all of it easy. So stop putting off those appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/connected to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc, ZocDoc, ZocDoc.com/connected. Our thanks to ZocDoc for sponsoring the show and for supporting Relay.
So we live in the age of social media, for good and bad. It's back, and no one can stop it. No one can stop it. Here we are. So we spoke a little bit about Blue Sky next week, which I didn't once call Blueski, which I did want to do, and I don't know if anybody's done yet. But like how I call Mastodon the Don, I think we should call this one Blueski, because I just think that that's funnier. And is it one word?
It is.
It's not It's not camel cased. It's just Blue Sky with all lowercase after the
I've been
B.
camel casing it because that makes the most sense to me. Okay, so Blueski. I wanted to get Federico. Me and Stephen gave our like early thoughts on Blueski, and I have some more. I do have some continued thoughts because I've been using it for more of the week. But I wanted to get your thoughts, your initial thoughts on it too, Federico. What are you thinking about Blue Sky?
I like it. It gives me, so far at least, a very early Twitter vibes, like that era of like 2010, 2011. Just last night, I saw the developers of Halide and Kino put together a giveaway for indie developers. We're like, yes, this is exactly Twitter 15 years ago.
Yes. What was it? Mac Heist?
Yeah. That's I also used to organize those giveaways. So it's like, yes, that is excellent. It's exactly that type of vibe. I like it. I think it's the kind of Twitter-like product that I've been missing so much. Not just because I dislike Mastodon. I really like Mastodon, and I'm really grateful to have quite an audience there. But I was missing this type of thing. Obviously, I don't want to post anything on X, but I was missing the shorter posts, which require me once again to exercise that muscle in my brain, because I got so used to the longer character limit on Mastodon.
I was very surprised at how often I was hitting the character limit. I'm like, what are you talking about? How dare you? How dare you?
And I think I'm liking it so far. Because it's that mix of, there's the nerds, but there's also like people who are interested in art and entertainment. There's there's a wider mix of people instead of like just like everybody being sort of adjacent to me. So that's what I appreciate. It's obviously very early. It's missing a lot of features. The fact that there's no replies view is wild.
Yes.
I appreciate the better moderation tools. The sort of that have been, I can say that have been thought through better, as a post Twitter product, like being able to detach a post from a quote post because people are dunking on you, being able to subscribe to a block list and block all the accounts in that block list, like all those things, they make me more optimistic about Blue Sky compared to other products. They have a lot of work to do. There's no iPad app. And sort of the backdrop in all this is that for me, Threads, and I know you're going to disagree with me strongly, Myke, Threads has really gone off the rails for me.
I ain't disagreeing. Now. I think Blue Sky has shown what Threads should have been.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I've done anything wrong with my Google searches in a way that could potentially influence the algorithm on Threads. But I don't know. It's almost like after the US elections, they flipped the switch and it became this, the main feed became this weird mix of like pure engagement baity stuff and people complaining or praising Trump. It's like this. It's like I don't want to see any of this.
Can I ask how recent has this been? Because we're going to talk about it, but like they just made some changes to
even yesterday.
Even yesterday. Okay. Something's poisoned your algorithm.
Like, something has, and I think I look at Blue Sky and I look at Threads. So I'm always going to keep Mastodon there on the side. That's where the nerds hang out. That's, the equivalent of it's basically the equivalent of going to a meetup for your favorite tech podcast. It's your people are there. Mm-hmm. But when I look at Threads and Blue Sky as the other, possibly wider social space, Blue Sky right now has the momentum and none of the engagement baity stuff that Threads has. Will it last? I don't know. But you asked me for my opinion right now, and that's my opinion right now.
Like the engagement bait exists on the platform, but you just not following the people, right? Which is like that's the idea.
And it's also not heavily recommended to me. Yeah.
Like you can go find it, but like you gotta choose to go there, right? To go find it.
Yeah, so it's fun. I'm posting there, and even the silly stuff that wouldn't necessarily be appreciated. Like yesterday, for example, I posted a stupid thing about Drake suing Apple because Drake thinks that Siri recommended Kendrick Lamar songs over his songs. Yes,
I saw that, and it is gold.
Like that post wouldn't have gone well on Mastodon. I would have gotten a guy on Mastodon me like, so do you agree with Driz? The type of reply you would have gotten on Mastodon. No, I just think it's silly. I just think it's silly, you know?
No,
and that's
from a guy.
A reply from a guy be like, oh, do you know Drake? You know, something about politics or whatever. Mm-hmm. And inside of Blue Sky, you can be a poster without caring about it. So that's what I was missing.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say the vibe remains good after another week. I think the vibes are good. Again, like you've said it, Federico, and everyone's saying it, but I'm going to say it as well. It does really feel to me like when I enjoyed Twitter, it felt like this, of like the type of content that I'm seeing. And do you know what? Honestly, I think I might have just hit what it was in my mind. Like for me, because I use the official Twitter app, right? And I think you did too, Federico, right? Or at least you moved in and out of it.
Yeah.
I guess like, and I didn't really use the For You feed, but even if you didn't use it, there was still like an element of like people playing to the algorithm, I guess. Where Blue Sky is not really like that, as you say, and so maybe that is what made Twitter bad, was people playing to the algorithm, and like a lot of these services, it's just that kind of content isn't for me. Anyway, it surprises me some of the features that they don't have. Like that's the thing that I've noticed in the past week of having used it more. The ability to not turn off reposts from people, that is a significant issue for me, because I try my best to see as little politics as possible in these feeds, and like so I want that gone. Like there are people who I want to follow, but I don't want their opinions on everything, and that includes like the things that they reshare. And so like the fact that I can't turn that off is like wild to me. And also I cannot believe that they don't have editing. There's no editing. Like what year is it? You know, like, I can't edit posts. Like what is happening? But yeah, so there's some creakiness I think to it. But overall, I like it. And like the main thing for me is that like there are people that I want to see that aren't there. I actually think I'm going to get into that more in a minute. So Stephen, what are you feeling?
I think my feelings basically mirror yours. The more time I've spent on it, the more I'm sort of frustrated by some of the lack of what we consider, you know, basically like needed features at this point. But also like I don't envy their position of like you've been working on this thing for a while and you're having this big wave of growth right now. Like I'm sure that's stressful, and like there have been times where like it just doesn't work, and you know I think they're scrambling to shore up the base of what they have before they can work on new features, and that's just part of this, I think. One thing I really like, and I did one. So we set up a Relay account, and I set up a starter pack on that with all of our like hosts and like moderators, like kind of Relay people who are on Blue Sky. But I think that's a really cool feature because it's like a list, but it's more interesting than that. You can kind of talk about, you know, why this exists. And like, I know y'all did the same thing over on Mac Stories, Federico, but in it, there's like, even that's kind of buggy. So like Kathy Campbell, our community manager, is on Blue Sky. I follow her. I cannot add her to the starter pack. Like it does not find her searching for her from the starter pack user interface.
Maybe Kathy blocked you.
Maybe Kathy blocked me.
Have you thought about that?
Or blocked. This is how I find out. And so, you know, again, I that's not a problem. I think that's growing pains. And again, like I'm sure they have people working bananas hours right now to keep things moving. And I definitely don't envy that. The thing I'm just really struck by every time I log in is they just ripped off Twitter's UI. Like it looks like Twitter. If you did like the Pepsi challenge between these two user interfaces, I'm not sure you could tell the difference.
Well, didn't it start as a Twitter spin-off?
Yeah, it did.
Years ago? Yeah.
With Jack Dorsey there. And Jack Dorsey is gone. You know, it's different leadership. And I get it. Like Twitter, for better, for worse, like they did, you know, work on that UI for a long time. And I guess standing on those shoulders is fine. But like Threads is, I think, an example of like how it can be really different. Like Threads doesn't look like Twitter or Blue Sky in terms of where things are. And every time I log in, I'm like, oh yeah, like you're actually really kind of similar UI wise. But
Yep.
I agree the vibes are good. How long that lasts beats me. I'm not optimistic long term about any of these things, but for now, it's fun.
I mentioned Threads. Threads has been running scared in the last 7 days. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely incredible to see. So this is what's happened in the last week. They first tuned the algorithm to make it show more of the people you follow. So like on the algorithm page. And I saw mine change immediately. And like there are people I'm like, oh yeah, I follow you. Like I hadn't seen these people's posts in ages. Then they enabled their version of a custom feeds feature. So there are hashtags on Threads, and you can make any hashtag like a custom feed where you just see content about that hashtag, which is whatever. They then announced a test to let you set any of these feeds as a default, which would include the following feed. So you will basically be able to have a default of the following feed.
Yeah.
And then today, I think, I saw Stephen just put this in the notes, they're also doing starter packs too. So
yeah.
No,
I respect it.
They are.
I respect it, man. Just like go for it, like just do it. Like people are telling you they want these features, do them. You should have done them when people are asking, or other than when you just had competition. But like, why not just do it?
I saw that because Casey Newton on Blue Sky wrote, Blue Sky is truly having an incredible run as Threads head of product. Just like, I love Casey Newton. So good. And that's, Meta's done that for years, and just their kind of their MO. My guy also noticed the Threads difference. On desktop, I have For You and then Following set up side by side, and I think on iOS, like setting the default, like I don't know if they're rolling that out or it's A/B testing. Currently, I can set a custom list as my like home, but I cannot set Following. Like that's in a different part of the UI. Maybe that's coming, or maybe we all misunderstood what Mark said on Threads. But
you know what they're like. They're just slow. They just roll this stuff out. They A/B test things to the nth degree.
Yeah.
Like they're doing this. This is something that they wanted to announce, like because they've started testing it, because then it kind of gets the heat off them, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. But they are, definitely I think feeling the heat from Blue Sky, which I believe is much smaller than they are. But Threads has had the juice for a while now, and they don't want to give that up. So,
yep.
Can't
but when anytime Meta starts, used to be Facebook, now Meta starts copying stuff from their competitors, they don't seem to understand that's when they stop being cool. Like it's always been this way. It was this way with Facebook. It was this way with Instagram. Like it's.
Well, one of those things was stories, though, and like.
Yeah. But like I don't know. It just seems desperate.
But do they care about being cool? I don't think they care. Zuck currently cares about being cool, but the company, this is what they do. They either buy or copy. Like they've always done this, and it works out for them. I agree with you. It doesn't make it fun.
I guess it seemed like. Here's why I don't like it, because it seemed like, for a moment, for like the past year, it seemed that Meta could build a successor to Twitter without having to copy anyone.
Yeah.
And now they're back to the copying, and that makes them look just, old.
It looks weak.
And weak, yes.
Yeah, it looks weak. Because now they're being made fun of, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is what started Good Guy Zuck, right? Was Threads. Yeah. People were excited about something that he was building, and then that kind of like changed his public perception. But yeah, they did a bunch of stuff and then didn't really continue it. Like they slowed down. Some of these things, if they would have just done them on their own when the users were asking, would have been fine. Some of this stuff, if they would have like borrowed from Blue Sky, would have been fine. Like say like starter packs or whatever, in my opinion. But some of this stuff, like tweaking the algorithm, doing the choosing your own default feed. This is stuff they should have just done because people were asking for it. People weren't asking for starter packs before Blue Sky started doing them. And so like, like whatever. But yeah, there's some stuff in here which is just like, people have been asking you for this for ages. So if you felt like there wasn't a good reason to do it, then you shouldn't be doing it now either. Right? Mm-hmm. Like, because now it just looks like, why are you it's kind of like, why are you doing this? you obviously had a reason, or I assume you would say you had a reason why you didn't want to do these features. So why are you now doing them? Like that's where the weakness comes in, right?
Yeah.
An anonymous user wrote in and said, "So the Blue Sky thing. Why? Mastodon why? Mastodon has your audience and it has proper client apps. Blue Sky will be Twitter in no time, and before you know it, you're playing the social media game again, posting things to gain traction, tying up your worth in it, etc. Plus the creator is still just a tech bro. I don't know. Why are you doing it?"
Well, for me at least, like I said, it's nice to see people join from outside of our tech bubble. I've been able to follow, again, people from Pokemon Twitter, for example. People from gaming Twitter, like people who never bothered to join Mastodon because of many, many different reasons. You know, it can be daunting, it can be a little strange, or what's a Mastodon instance? Like most people also here's an opinion. In social media, most people don't care about federation. We, the nerds, appreciate a good protocol when we see one because it tingles our senses. You know, it's like all the things we love. Yes, RSS,
deep and URLs, open frameworks,
APIs, all the things we love. Most people, my mom doesn't care. My mom and people like I don't know, not even my friends in real life, they don't care. They want fun. They want instant gratification. They want to sign up for the thing, post, get 5 likes, follow their favorite TV celebrities, and be done with it. People don't care about the federation. And so me, someone who tries all the things,
an intellectual,
anonymous,
I heard that too in my head.
An intellectual who tries all things, dear anonymous. It's fun that I get to follow people that don't always talk about WWDC or Apple Intelligence or Swift UI, that just talk about Pikachu and the Steam Deck and all my other hobbies, because I don't find them on Mastodon. And if you don't understand this part, I don't know.
This is exactly it from me, right? With Blue Sky, is that there were a bunch of people that I really enjoyed following who I have not seen anything that they've had to say since I left Twitter, because they either didn't join Mastodon or they joined Threads and weren't willing to go all in and just stayed on Twitter. And this is a lot of tech reporters and a lot of people in gaming, like both reporters and creators. And these are people who I really enjoy their work, and I get it in other places. So I listen to their podcasts, I read their newsletters, but I also want everything that person might say if I can. Like I want to have access to it. And so like that's, I think when I keep talking about like the Twitter thing, it's because I'm seeing those people. I'm seeing what those people have to say again. I have not seen what those people have had to say in this way in like 2 years, because they didn't go all in on one of these services. But Blue Sky has enough Twitter in it that it is pulling these people in. Like they're actually willing to do it and to try where they haven't been willing to go all in. So like that's why I'm using it. Like for me as a creator, I don't think I'm really like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Like I genuinely now, I have no idea what I'm doing anymore. I don't know what service to be on. I don't know what to post anywhere. It's way too confusing. I have absolutely no answers for you, but I just know that as a consumer of content, I'm enjoying what Blue Sky has to offer for me. But like I got out of the game of trying to post things for engagement a long time ago. Like it never really suited me, and I was never good at it. So
I do want to say one thing about this anonymous feedback. It was created and spun out of Twitter, but Jack Dorsey, who I think is the quote unquote bro you're talking about, anonymous, has been gone since May. But to be fair, and this came out, I was talking with a friend of mine earlier today, Blue Sky has raised a lot of VC money as recently as like a month ago. And I think some of the players in that are like worth keeping an eye on. it was led by like Blockchain Capital and, some others, and just keep an eye on it,
I mean, I saw people say about this, but I mean, like, I haven't looked into their VC too much. Like, I saw someone saying today, like, oh, the VCs are very into blockchain and AI. It's like all venture capitalist companies are investing in these areas now.
Yeah.
Like, these are the areas that are being invested in. And I will just say, like, not only is the person in charge of Blue Sky not Jack Dorsey, it's also a woman, so like not a bro. And so that I think that is something just worth knowing.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's the funny thing. So this person's name, they go by Jay Graber, but their full name is, I'm going to say, Lanshan Jay Graber, and that name, Lantin, means blue sky in Mandarin Chinese, which is a pure coincidence.
What?
Isn't that incredible?
No, that can be right.
That's
For
what
real?
it said.
Really?
Yep.
That is perfect.
Isn't that incredible? I'll put their Wikipedia page in the show notes. I saw that the other day, and it's on the Wikipedia page, so it must be true.
Yeah, I mean, we all know those are accurate.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that like beautiful? Isn't that a beautiful coincidence?
Yeah.
Benjamin.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
I am launching a social media network.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's called Michael. That's my middle name.
Okay.
And
what a coincidence.
And it's only for people who have Michael in their name. So sorry, Federico.
Sick. So me and you?
Me and you.
How do you feel about me being on your social network? Are you happy about that or sad about that?
I mean, it's, terms of service, have to be followed.
Steven, that's literally called
me,
iMessage.
I'm always breaking the terms of service. You can't hold me down.
It's called iMessage.
I got things to say. And I'm going to say I'm on Michael.
Yeah, it does. We're going to have some problems with that, but I mean, we'll figure it out. The VCs will figure it out.
Growing pains.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to need to submit a, some form of identification.
Okay.
It's very exclusive and just loaded with terrible ideas.
Great.
Jim, cut all that.
Oh, no. Benjamin also wrote in and said, I find it interesting that when you talk about the different social media platforms you're on, you usually omit Discord. Besides the promotional aspects of these other social media sites, what are they giving you that Discord doesn't? So I'll start off and say, I don't think a Discord is social media.
Ding, ding, ding.
It isn't social media. It's a community discussion app. It's closed in a way. Like, I know there are open Discords, but like you still have to go into the Discord to see what's said in the Discord. It's not like this stuff is posted like broadcast to the world. And also it goes back to the same thing, which is the biggest thing for me with social media is being able to see the things that people say that I wouldn't be in a group chat or Discord with, right? Like, I want to see what people I respect, people that are taller than me, what they have to say. And I don't get that in every Discord that I'm in. Like, I can't get everybody that I enjoy in gaming to, like, join a Discord with me to just tell me what they think all the time. Like, they're different. They're different types of things. I will agree, there is an overlap to a point of, like, being in a community and talking. But Discord is closer to forums than it is to social media.
Yeah. I feel the same way, and I'm willing to admit that that's our use of Discord. Like, I'm not in any big public servers with billions of people.
Yeah, but it's still not the same, even if it's a public server. Like, it's chatting. Like, you're chatting, right? You're not
chatting,
like posting. I do think that there is a distinction there.
Yeah, I think that's fair. If you are confused by all the cross-posting business, we have good news. Our friends behind Croissant have released an update today, actually, that brings their cross-posting app from the iPhone to the Mac and iPad as well. So this was one of my uses for iPhone mirroring, and now it's just a Mac app I can launch. It looks great. I think they did a really nice job bringing it to the larger screen sizes. And go check it out. It's in the App Store. This episode of Connected is brought to you by Ecamm. Ecamm Live is the leading video production and live streaming studio built for the Mac. Ecamm does all aspects of video, not just live streaming, so it's perfect for simplifying a bunch of different parts of your workflow. It's easy enough to get started quickly, but powerful enough that you can create just about anything with video, and you can do it all with Ecamm. What impresses me most about Ecamm is that these folks really understand what the Mac is good at. It's integrated nicely with all the great audio, video routing, all the window control. There's new stuff in macOS to actually record different parts of the screen. Ecamm takes advantage of all that stuff, and it feels really native and very Mac-like. So whether you're streaming, recording, podcasting, or presenting, everything you need is in Ecamm. It includes support for multiple cameras and screen sharing, and a live camera switcher lets you direct the show in real time. Stand out from the crowd with high-quality video. Add logos, titles, lower thirds, and graphics. Share your screen, drop in video clips, bring on interview guests, use a green screen, and so much more. Ecamm's members are entrepreneurs, marketing professionals, podcasters, educators, musicians, church leaders, bloggers, and content creators of all kinds. And right now, until December 2nd, Ecamm is running their Make the Switch giveaway, where you can win the ultimate content creation bundle to level up your show or podcast. The prize pack includes a brand new M4 Mac Mini, a free year of Ecamm Live Pro, a free year of Opus Clip, a free, fully customizable Ecamm template from Live Streaming Pros, podcast branding from the team at PodPack. Enter now at ecamm.tv/giveaway. And you can get Ecamm at 40% off one day only in their Black Friday sale this November 29th. That's 40% off new customers for Ecamm this Friday. Go to ecamm.com. And existing customers, you'll get a special offer if you're part of their email list. So go to ecamm.com to learn more, and our thanks to Ecamm for sponsoring the show.
So Apple revealed their app and game finalists for the annual App Store Awards. These are 45 apps and games. There's a full list on the Apple Newsroom. It's organized with the same categories as last year. There's the App of the Year, Game of the Year, and a separate category for Apple Arcade, Mac App, Mac Game, Apple Watch, and Vision Pro. Also included this year.
That last one got me. It's like, man, anyone who wrote a Vision Pro app is eligible.
Yeah, we're giving you an award. I think it's nice that there's a possibly a healthier mix of like really popular titles and some indie picks, like Kino, for example. Has been nominated for iPhone App of the Year. Tripsy, which is excellent.
Do you want me to run through them? We can talk about them?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So iPhone App of the Year, Kino, which is the cinematic recording app, Runner, which I've not heard of, but is a running app, and Tripsy, which is a trip planning app, which actually got a big redesign. I think that's really good. That's like maybe three indie apps that I know about. I don't know who makes Runner. But that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And then we have iPhone Game of the Year, AFK Journey, The Wear Cleaner, and Zenless Zone Zero. I only have heard of Zenless Zone Zero.
Yeah.
I think it was on PC where you were like Apple's latest friend, like
yes.
But Hoyoverse, they always have the Hoyoverse games, but
yeah, always.
Reason though, like these games are absolutely massive, so
true,
kind of makes sense. Have you heard of the other games, Federico? Do you know about these?
Nope, first time I'm seeing them.
Maybe worth trying. iPad App of the Year, Bluey Let's Play, Moises, which is an AI-powered music practicing tool, and Procreate Dreams, which is their animation app from Procreate.
Yeah.
Procreate is iPad's best friend, always.
Yeah.
Yes, always.
We used to podcast with somebody named Moises.
Yeah.
Now he's an app.
They're still out there.
True.
They're still. They've been sucked into the app.
Yeah,
no,
that's rough.
iPad Game of the Year, Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Oh, this is Apple's new best friend also.
Yeah. Ubisoft at the moment is doing. Federico, it's so funny. So, CD Projekt had their earnings call a couple of days ago, and they were talking about how successful Cyberpunk has been for them. Like, I think they sold like 30 million copies or something. And they, in the earnings call, they referenced how like they're really excited about the progress on Cyberpunk and its sales, and they're really looking forward to that, to when they launch on Apple Silicon next year. Powered by the power of Apple Silicon, they're launching on the Mac, and like as if to suggest it's going to be a big boost for them from an earnings perspective, which I thought was very funny. But I found it really interesting that like specifically calling out Apple Silicon. So like there is question about, is Apple paying these companies, right, to do this? Like, are they paying Ubisoft? Are they paying Kojima? And the way in which this, like the CFO like specifically called out Apple Silicon, it sounded like a line he'd been given to say. It was weird to me. This is pure conspiracy time, but it stuck out to me as like a weird thing to say, like an unnatural thing that somebody would just say. But Assassin's Creed Mirage, Disney Speed Storm, and Squad Busters are the iPad Game of the Year finalists. Apple Arcade Game of the Year finalists: Balatro Plus, Outlanders 2, and Sonic Dream Team. If Balatro does not win this, I do not know what is going on over there. That is, this is the Game of the Year, not just Apple Arcade Game of the Year. Mac App of the Year. You ready for this, Steven?
Mm-hmm.
Adobe Lightroom, OmniFocus 4, Shaper 3D.
The classics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mac Game of the Year, Frostpunk 2, Stray, and Thank Goodness You're Here. Great games, actually. Like, actual legit good games in Mac Game of the Year.
Stray, isn't it from like 2 years ago?
It was PlayStation exclusive.
Okay.
It came out on the Mac, I think, around the same time that it went on other platforms.
So basically, the Mac Game Awards are like the Game Awards with a 2-year delay.
Well, Thank Goodness You're Here came out this year, and Frostpunk 2 came out this year. So, I'm being kind to the Mac. I'm being kind to the Mac.
Making progress.
They're making progress. Thank Goodness You're Here, by the way, is really good fun. And it's like a game anyone could play. It's a very weird game with a lot of strange humor, but it's basically a point-and-click adventure game. I recommend it. It's good fun. Apple Watch App of the Year, Lookup, Lumi, Watch to 5K.
Very cool.
Good.
Lookup got a redesign this year, I think, and it's really solid.
Well, congratulations, Vidit. That's very happy for them. And Apple Vision Pro App of the Year, Jig Space. This is where you can look at the Formula One car.
Yep.
NBA and What If, an immersive story. I find it interesting. There's also a Game of the Year, which is Luna, Thrasher, and Vacation Simulator for Vision Pro. And I find it interesting that they put What If in the App of the Year, not the Game of the Year. I mean, it's kind of entertainment, so it probably fits more in app than games, but that was interesting to me. And then Apple TV App of the Year, Dropout, F1 TV, and Zoom.
Zoom should win.
Zoom, let's go. And then Cultural Impact finalists, there's a lot of these, so give me a second. Arco, The Bear, Better Sleep, Brawl Stars, Daily Art, Do You Really Want to Know 2, EF Hello, NYT Games, Oko, Partiful, Pinterest, and The Rec. And this is, they bring, this category brought users powerful stories and helped them bring out their best selves to create a lasting impact. Very broad in nominations for this year. Like, I think that is there's a game like Arco, and then also like New York Times games and Pinterest. It's like a very, very broad category. But there have been some years where we're all like, this is what is happening. Like, what are these? And this year, I wouldn't say that. I think there's some great stuff in here.
Of course, these awards are fine, but they're not Mac Story Selects or the Upgradies. That's what I'll say.
Sure.
That's what I'll say.
Is Mac Story Selects coming soon, Federico?
Yeah, how's that going?
They are coming soon. The awards have been finalized. They've been sent for production. And I really like the list that we have this year. And they will be published in the very near future.
Also, you've the winners are chosen.
Yeah.
I voted in the User's Choice Award.
Yes.
Can I say what I voted for? Or is that breaking rules, like election rules?
No, you can. You can say
I voted for Teachy Tabs. And if Teachy Tabs does not win,
thank you.
I will be so mad.
Thank you.
Teachy Tabs should win the award. And if they don't, I will be very disappointed. I just want everyone to know that. It's too late now because the voting's closed.
Okay.
But I just want everyone to know I'll be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what about the upgrades? Where are they in process?
Yeah, you can vote now. We're doing, you can not vote. We do nominations. You can go to upgradies.vote. You can put in your nominations. That closes on December 13th, and we're recording on December the 30th.
I will say.
Yeah.
Connected won in 2022. And we won back in 2018. So we are one away from a Lifetime Achievement Award. And so I'm just saying, favorite podcasts, Connected people, go.
It's difficult for Connected to win that because I'm never going to put my own show forward. So it has to win the Upgradian vote, and Jason has to be feeling it. That's the only way it's going to happen.
Downstream
so maybe
is one.
You can start pressuring Jason.
Okay.
Yeah, but that when that happened, that was me putting it forward. Or maybe Jason doesn't have the same ethical rules as me. I don't remember. But I just can't, in good faith, say that I should win an award that I will give to myself. It's like the meme of Obama putting the medal around himself. That's what it's like. Like, oh yeah, my podcast should win this. But as I've said many times, I'm always genuinely surprised that Upgrade isn't at the top of the nomination list. It's always like, I get it, but also it's like, come on, we're here. What do you want from us? But this doesn't work out.
Yeah.
What are you saying to let that for?
I would like to be a Lifetime Achievement winner.
Sure.
Look, it honestly, we've had a great year. Company turned 10.
Mm-hmm.
You and I were awarded Creator of the Year from St. Jude.
Mm-hmm.
This would be this is the EGOT of podcasting,
Interesting.
Upgrades.
Are you willing to say this is what you truly want?
I feel like that's a reference I'm not getting, but sure.
No, I'm just we've had a lot of things happen that have been great this year, but is this what you are you willing to say?
I'm just saying it would be the cherry on top.
Right.
It's just the little extra that would really make this year just really shine.
So now here's the thing, obviously Jason will listen to this. I wonder if you saying this will make him more or less likely.
That is an interesting question.
Yeah. Is he going to be more or less likely to want to give it? Well, we'll see, because it's all up to I do genuinely believe this one is up to the Upgradians to put their votes where they want to put them.
Yeah.
I already have a long short list of my favorite podcasts of the year to put in, so I'm not going to help, unfortunately.
The long short list.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Connected's a pretty good
Medium
show.
List. I like it.
It's fine.
I'm biased.
It's fine. This episode of Connected is made possible by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online. So whether you're just starting out or you're managing a growing brand, you can stand out with a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything: products, services, and even content. Squarespace is everything you need all in one place, all on your terms. With Squarespace, you can get discovered quickly with integrated SEO tools. Every Squarespace site is optimized to be indexed with meta descriptions, an auto-generated sitemap, and more, so you'll show up more often to more people in global search engine results. If your website has a bunch of videos, you can manage those easily. Upload your video content to Squarespace, organize your video library, and showcase your content on beautiful video pages. You can even sell access to your video library by adding a paywall to your content. And keep track with what's working with built-in analytics. Measure your end-to-end online performance with powerful website and seller analytics with Squarespace. Get insight on your top traffic sources, understand how your reach is growing, track your sales metrics, and learn where to focus new engagement. It's all the data you need to scale your business, and it's all built in, fully integrated, and clearly displayed. I love building on Squarespace because all these tools work together. I can add things like that, like the video page, right? Maybe you don't need a video library on day one, but as you continue to grow out your business or have more content, you can just add it to your site. You're not having to rebuild things or tear things down and build new things. It's just all integrated and knows about each other. So head on over to squarespace.com and sign up for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/connected to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain name. That's squarespace.com/connected for 10% off your first purchase and to show your support for the world's greatest podcast. Our thanks to Squarespace for the support of Connected and all of Relay. Federico, you have been on a journey with Apple Frames. Version 3.3 was released this week, and I read the blog post. I know talking to you that this you really got thrown a curveball with this. Tell us what's the deal with display P3 and sRGB and screenshots.
Yeah, so I have been working on this shortcut for months because I wanted to update it initially with just the M4 iPad Pros, and in the summer when I started testing it in June, I had the beta of iOS 18 and iPadOS 18 installed, and I quickly put together a version with the new frames for the new iPads, and it didn't work in the sense that when the shortcut overlaid the screenshot on top of the device frame, the device frames, they always have a little bit of transparency around them. They are transparent PNGs. But when I overlaid the image, the transparency would become a solid black border around the image. And I thought, well, that's weird. That's wrong. It doesn't have to do that. And I just assumed that it was going to be a temporary iOS 18 beta 1 setback. It continued for months. The shortcut has this action called overlay image, and it stayed broken in that state for months. Obviously, it all got worse in September when the new iPhones and Apple Watches came out, and a bunch of people, like a lot of people, use this shortcut. And a lot of people have been sending me emails and replies on Mastodon and Threads being like, hey, why isn't this working with my iPhone 16? Well, because it doesn't support the iPhone 16, because I cannot add support for it because I'm waiting for a bug fix. But this bug fix never came. I submitted the feedback. I talked to some shortcuts people privately. Nothing. Until last week, I thought, well, let's try the last thing that I can try. Going public about it. There's this new space on Blue Sky. Let's take it as an opportunity. People are paying attention here now. Let's bring this up on Blue Sky. And sure enough, within 24 hours, I got a reply and an email from two different people sort of coming to the same conclusion, that something was going on with color profiles in shortcuts. Specifically, reader and listener, I believe, Douglas, found out that on their Mac, some screenshots were being captured instead of sRGB 8-bit as display P3 16-bit.
Oh man,
that's my favorite one.
And the behavior was inconsistent. Like some screenshots were 8-bit with one color profile, other screenshots were not.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. My understanding is you could not find a pattern as to why the system did this.
My personal theory is that /conspiracy theory is that I've done a bunch of tests. It seems like every single time I take a screenshot of Siri, like the new Siri with the fancy colors and the fancy animation, it's always in 16-bit P3. So like Siri, they make it look better in screenshots. But like it's wildly inconsistent. Like most of the time, plain white UIs are captured in the old format, so 8 bits sRGB, whereas sometimes, but not always, but sometimes images with more colors, like more colorful screenshots, are in the wider color gamut.
My expectation would be like the system is doing something to determine if it should be in higher color or not, right?
I think so too.
They're just like, oh, this one it will look better if it's in 16, so it's just in 16, and whatever.
Now, what was the issue? The issue is that this is not communicated anywhere, and the overlay image action seemingly has no awareness of this mismatch when you're trying to overlay an image in 8-bit or in 16-bit on top of another image that is in a different color profile with a different bit depth, the overlay image doesn't say anything. It just quietly fails and removes the alpha channel from the underlying PNG. And I wish I thought of this sooner. I wish I thought of checking for the color profile myself. But basically, that put me on a path to figure out a solution. On Blue Sky, fellow Shortcuts creator, Antonio Bueno, they proposed a way to use a JavaScript-based workaround inside Shortcuts to re-encode a screenshot in a different color profile. That method worked, but it added a lot of memory consumption to the shortcut, to the point where if I tried to frame more than 2 or 3 screenshots, the shortcut would crash every single time because it was doing a lot of JavaScript for every screenshot, and that's very memory intensive in shortcuts. So I thought I was stuck again, and then I realized, well, maybe I'm thinking about this the wrong way. Maybe the solution is not to alter what screenshots look like. Maybe I gotta try the opposite approach. Maybe I need to change the frames instead. So my theory was, okay, so the 8-bit sRGB frames, they cause these issues. What if I upgraded the frames to 16-bit? What happens if on a 16-bit frame, I overlay an 8-bit or 16-bit image? And that worked. Upgrading the frames to 16-bit made sure that regardless of whether I'm overlaying an 8-bit image or a 16-bit one, the alpha transparency stays the same around the frame. So I got some help from John to re-encode all of the images with a terminal command. There's a script called, part of an open source project called Image Magic. You can run it on the terminal on macOS, and he basically re-encoded the images without altering the colors, without altering the sizes in 16-bit sRGB. And it doesn't matter that the frame is as sRGB and maybe a screenshot is in display P3. What matters is the bit depth of those images, and that did the trick. So I was able to basically create a new folder of frames with a different bit depth, and that fixed all the problems. Now, finally, I was able to release Apple Frames 3.3, but I want to leave you with a bit of a teaser. Because a couple of nights ago, as I was thinking about Apple Frames has been on my mind a lot this week, and I was thinking like how cumbersome it had become to scroll that screenshot, to add new features, or to double check a specific portion of the screenshot. And I had a bit of an epiphany for a different approach altogether that I could use for the internal logic of Apple Frames that checks what type of screenshot are you dealing with? What type of resolution is it? I had this epiphany that I will actually go a little much more in depth on the upcoming episode of App Stories, where I deleted 509 actions from Apple Frames.
Whoa.
509 actions deleted. And all that logic is now contained in a single JSON file. That gives me much more room for adding new features, which I've already done, and fixing bugs, which I've already done, and making Apple Frames even more flexible than before, which is what people have been requesting. So to sum up, I think Apple Frames 4, completely rebuilt and with more options than before, I think I can release it before the end of the year.
That's awesome.
I think I think a shortcut that size is just like terrifying to me. Like I I couldn't even imagine like scrolling because like what if you accidentally moved something and like how would you ever know?
I create backups of the shortcut, but yeah.
Even then, man, that's so terrifying to me. Like,
yeah.
Do you have like a shortcut that makes a backup of the shortcut? Please tell me you do. Yeah?
I do.
Love that. Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
You could just every time you run it, just make a backup. just keep doing it forever.
No, but the thing is like, so this shortcut is used by a lot of developers and a lot of designers. Like a lot of people use it for production work. And I know that they've been asking for more options. Like, for example, why is it that, why is Apple Frames 3.3 defaulting to an iPhone 16 Plus in ultramarine? Because that's what I picked. But what if you could pick kind of iPhone you wanted to use? And also, we're now running into the issue of some Apple devices sharing the same resolutions. So for example, in Apple Frames 3.3, I had to make a decision. At the same resolution point, both the iPhone 16 Plus and the iPhone 15 Pro Max coexist. They have the same resolution. So when I give you a screenshot, it could be either one of those. And with the old Apple Frames, I had to make a decision and be like, okay, I'm going to default to the most recent iPhone. But then I get replies from people saying, why is it that when I capture and try to frame a screenshot from my iPhone 15 Pro Max, it comes out looking as an iPhone 16 Plus in ultramarine, right? And so I have been able to fix that problem. That is also one of the things coming in Apple Frames 4.
Very cool.
Yeah. Ooh, it's been a bit of a journey, yeah.
Yeah, I know this one has been a bit of a downer for you, really. Like, and that's always frustrating.
Especially with this new system, I feel very energized about it.
Good.
Very like it's actually pretty awesome. So
that's good. That makes me feel good because it's like frustrating, right? Where like you have zero control, zero say over what happens in the system, and you're trying to like build on top of it, and like I would find that really demoralizing to like just kind of be banging your head against the wall trying to work out how to make it work. Like, so I'm really happy that you're able to fix it, and I'm actually really happy that you're able to fix it in the way that you did, right? By like putting it out into the world, and you got people to come and help you. That's like the nicest thing that can happen. It's lovely.
I agree.
I've been battling my own mystery here recently.
Stephen Frames.
I've got a original launch day Apple Watch Ultra, and my phone's running the iOS 18.2 beta, whatever the most up-to-date one is. But my watch is on the public release of watchOS 11.1, whatever the current one is. I don't, as a rule, don't run watchOS betas on my main watch. I have a development watch that gets sacrificed to the beta each summer. And that's been fine. Like, for years I've done this where my phone's on betas, watch isn't, and it's been fine. But in the last couple of weeks, I have noticed that my Ultra, the battery life is really fading. And I've even said it on a couple of shows. Like, this watch is entering its third year and it's starting to really kind of feel it. The health reports at 88% battery capacity. So it's taken a hit, but not that bad. But I have noticed that in addition to like some days, I'm just, before I'm in bed, I'm hitting the low battery thing, which on an Ultra just has never happened before. For years, I've worn it all day, tracked it with it.
Slop
Trokt it, and then charge it when I'm getting ready for the day, and it's basically good to go again. So that rhythm has been broken, which is annoying. But the final straw is that over the weekend, I've noticed a couple things happening. One, it would show me the red phone with a slash through it, like it wasn't connected to my phone, even though my phone was with me. So I would notice that, like, oh, the calendar hasn't updated, or carrot weather is just like it's just spinning if I tap the complication. But then Monday, it detected or collected no activity information. So no stand hours, no movement, nothing.
That's not good.
Not good. So my watch on Monday thinks that I just stayed in bed all day.
Yeah.
I did not. I went to work. I was like, okay, like something's clearly wrong here. So I like, well, let me, erase the watch and set it back up. Like, this could be a hardware issue. Like I was afraid, oh gosh, the watch has like a hardware failure, like the Wi-Fi or something in the watch is dying. Restarting wouldn't fix it. Sometimes it would fix it for a little while, but like clearly something's going on here. It's out of AppleCare. So let me restore it and like just hope that it's a software issue. I went to go reset the watch from the companion iPhone app and it wouldn't do it. So I took a screenshot of this error and it's in the Mastodon post. It's in the show notes. But what it read was could not connect to Apple Watch. Make sure your Apple Watch is nearby, powered on, and not in airplane mode. So it's at this point sitting, charging on my nightstand. I'm sitting on the edge of my bed. I hit erase Apple Watch content and settings, and it shows me this. So at this point, I'm like, well, is it so broken that I can't restore it, which would be real bad. But then someone on Mastodon posted out that you can also reset the watch from the watch itself. So it's in the settings app. You dig down far enough and there's reset Apple Watch content and settings. So I did that and it erased itself. It came back and it came back up as a new watch. Like, great. It restored. It seemed to restore fine. Like it was slow, but it's always slow when you restore an Apple Watch. And I restored my backup to it. And 2 days later, it seems like it's okay, but definitely like a looking into the abyss, because I do not want to buy an Apple Watch Ultra 2 because it's a year old. Like, what would I do? I don't know. So hopefully it continues to be okay. I did, before I erased it, I did file feedback 1596238 about my poor battery life. All the logs when associated with that. So if you work on the Apple Watch and you go dig into that, like, please do. But so far, so good. This is when it gets weird. Okay.
Oh, we've taken another turn.
So far annoying, but like, got it fixed. So I'm telling Mary about this. Mary has a launch day Series 8. So we updated our watches at the same time, a little over 2 years ago. Mary has the small size Series 8, and she's always worn the small Apple Watch. And I've just known that means that she's going to get 3 years out of an Apple Watch before it needs a battery. And so she's on basically a 3-year update cycle. And it's like, well, that's weird. Too soon for that to be the case. Her battery's also at 88% battery capacity, just out of weird coincidence. But she's had a couple of cases where her watch is doing the same thing. Like,
oh no,
dying in the middle of the day. So earlier than a small watch normally dies. Like she's like, be at work and like 1 p.m. her watch like pings her like, I'm dying, goodbye. And she's noticed that it drops connection to her phone. Now, the way she discovered this is that Siri was not working on her watch. And she uses Siri on her watch a lot more than I do on mine. And so her watch is exhibiting similar symptoms to mine. To my knowledge, it has not dropped a day of activity tracking. Like, she works out basically every day. Like she would tell me like, hey, I worked out, nothing happened. Or she's very in tune with her rings and filling them. And so that has not taken place on her watch yet. Like, well, that's weird. Like maybe maybe it's just like older watches, and she's not on any betas, right? She's on watchOS 11.1 and iOS 18.1, fully up to date on the public release.
Imagine if like you were trying to diagnose that, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm on like 0.2."
Yeah, yeah, I'm running the beta.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, her phone is not capable of Apple Intelligence, so like, there's no reason to put her on the beta. And she thinks AI is terrible, so she wouldn't turn it on even if she could.
Fair.
In fact, she got a notification on her Mac about turning on Apple Intelligence, and she was so mad. She's like, get out of here. I don't want this.
She blames you. Like, why have you done this to
me? Yeah. So then I had a brainwave. About 2 weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, I swapped to a fast charger on my side of the bed. I was using like the standard Apple Watch puck that I got probably honestly years and years ago. And I was like, you know what? It would be nice to fast charge my watch. And the USB like multi-charger thing I had like powering my nightstand, I needed to replace it anyways because I needed one more USB-C port. I was like, well, let me get a modern one and I'll get a new Apple Watch charging puck and I'll fast charge, which is really nice, especially if you sleep track. You just drop it on, it's very fast. And if you wear an Apple Watch Ultra, you will know that it's very slow to charge on a normal Apple Watch charger because the battery's so much bigger. And so I was like, I'm enjoying this. And Mary is like getting into some sleep tracking. I was like, oh, you would really benefit with the small watch plus sleep tracking. You would really also benefit from fast charging. So I did the same thing on her side of the bed. Her multi-USB thing was newer, and so she actually had capacity for fast charging. So I just went to the store, got her a fast charging Apple Watch puck, put it in her Studio Neat nightstand thing she uses. And it was after this that both of our watches started doing weird things. And I'm not saying fast charging is an issue or that it caused it or that but it's weird.
You're not saying that.
I'm not saying it.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to see how my watch does. I'm going to restore hers, I think, over Thanksgiving at some point, just like borrow it for a little while and put her back on it so it's all the same. But weird, right?
Yeah, this is absolutely not the same thing, but I have like a weird thing happen with charging on my Apple Watch too, where sometimes I get the thing and it's like, "Hi, your watch is dead." And I'm like, "How could this happen?" And then I go home and I put my watch on my charger and it doesn't charge. Like it just won't charge. But if I disconnect the Apple Watch charger from the brick and plug it back in again, then it works. It's like every few months I have to unplug it and plug it back in again. This isn't the same thing, but like I don't understand why that's happening. I will say my charger is very old. It is a USB-A Apple Watch charger.
Yeah, it may just be time for a new.
I think I need a new one. But it's like then I also have to buy a new power brick. Right? It's like you. So it's like I'm kind of just like procrastinating on it because I just don't really want to have to just like because then I have to like I have one of the Studio Neat things and I have to like unwire I need to like do the whole thing. So like I'm really procrastinating on it to the point where I guess it doesn't work anymore. But anyway, but that's very strange. Very strange. Obviously I can't think of any logical reason why charging would do this, but why else is it happening to both of you? That's odd.
When she told me she was having trouble with it, like my mouth like fell open. I was like, what? Yeah. Like,
Did you get the immediate instinct to make a YouTube video?
I did not.
ChargeGate?
No, there was no hissing, so there's no hook. And she was like, because she has had the smaller watch for years and like, she's like, oh, like, do I just need to like consider an upgrade? I was like, I don't think so. Like, I don't think it's time for that, but it's definitely weird and I don't like it.
No.
So I don't know. I'll keep y'all posted, I guess, and see what else the watches may do. But hopefully they're okay after restores. But it's definitely concerning because she would just get the Series 10 like in aluminum. She always gets the silver aluminum, like small. Like I could buy her a watch on autopilot at this point, but I don't know what I would do because I really don't want an Ultra 2. Like if it needed a battery, I think I'd pay to have the battery replaced.
You want the black one though.
No, I thought that and I saw it in person. I don't like it in person. So it's very like smudgy and fingerprinty and like not dark enough. So I don't know what I would do. This episode of Connected is brought to you by Masterclass. Everyone has those people who are tricky to buy for. They already have everything, so each year it gets harder to think outside the box. Thankfully, there's a gift that's always on time and lasts a lifetime. This Christmas, you can't do better than Masterclass. With Masterclass, your loved ones can learn from the best to becoming their best. Masterclass is the only streaming platform where you can learn and grow with over 200 of the world's best. That's why Wirecutter calls it an invaluable gift. So give that hard-to-buy-for person in your life unlimited learning. Learn from any masterclass instructor anywhere, on a phone, computer, smart TV, or even in audio mode. Help them take the leap and learn how to build their startup with Alexis Ohanian. Use science to solve problems with Bill Nye, or explore adventure photography with Jimmy Chin. And these classes really make the difference. 88% of members feel that Masterclass made a positive impact on their lives. I think this makes a great gift. Look, a lot of us who are into nerdy things, we're pretty specific. We can be hard to shop for. I know I certainly can be. And with Masterclass, you can give somebody an education. You give them learning, and that is invaluable. Plus, there's no risk. Every new membership comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So give your loved ones a year of learning with Masterclass. Now, Masterclass has always had great offers during the holidays, sometimes as much to 50% off. So head on over to masterclass.com/connected for their current offer. That's up to 50% off at masterclass.com/connected. The link is in the show notes. Our thanks to Masterclass for their support of the show.
So it's Thanksgiving week in America, which I think has become Thanksgiving around the world, which is like because we all have Black Friday. I don't know if you guys have seen this year. I really don't like this. I've seen both the use of Black Week and Black Month instead of just Black Friday.
Yeah.
I really don't like that. I don't think it sounds good, and I also just am tired of the sales. I'm going to give you a little quick pet peeve for you both.
We're running a month-long sale on membership.
Yeah, but we're just calling it a membership sale.
Okay.
We're not calling it the Black Month sale, are we? That's the. I don't care about people offering discounts. Like, anyway, do Black Friday on Black Friday. Other than that, you're doing a holiday sale. You know what I mean?
Respect the sanctity of Black Friday is what you're saying.
Exactly. But also, just Black Friday outside of America is madness anyway.
What? Put the Friday back in Black Friday. You know?
Oh, Steven.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. I love it. You should make a t-shirt, you know?
I should.
The war on Black Friday. That's what
right.
we're doing over here. I have another pet peeve that I would like to share with you real quick about.
I thought we were giving
Black
thanks,
Friday.
not giving.
We are,
complaints.
but now I'm in it now. I find it really annoying when brands like have this whole thing about like why they're not doing Black Friday, right? Or like we're doing it, but like we're not. It's not what you think, you know. Like if I just do it or don't do it, like it doesn't need to be like your moment, you know, like. We would never do a sale. Like they just do it. Either do it or don't do it. Like anyway, that's my pet peeve. But anyway, because it is Thanksgiving season, it is the season of giving thanks, and I thought that we could all share something in technology that we are thankful for right now. I would like to know what you all. I can start if you would like some time to think, but I have. Would you like me to start?
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think of something that was new to me, rather than something that I've had. And I think genuinely the thing that I am most thankful for in technology this year is large language modeled powered search engines.
This was also going to be on my list. So.
Yeah, because I really, I mean, I've spoken about it a bunch already, but like, I think that it is helping me navigate the web better than I have in years for finding helpful and interesting answers to questions. Like, I feel like I'm able to get to what I want with less work. Like, today I was Googling, like I was just Googling something, and the sentence that I put into Google was like absolute gibberish, right? Because like I'm trying to get what I want, right? Because I was in my web browser, so I opened a new tab to type it in, and I'm like, I don't even remember what it was, but it was something like Safari, no work, replace. You know what I mean? It's just like why you're just like talking in this like it's truly unhinged way to try and get what you want out of Google. But the good thing about like I like ChatGPT search the most is that you can just be like, I'm looking for this thing and I'm wondering about this thing and da-da-da-da-da, and it can give you results, and maybe you don't like them, so you kind of like say, no, give me more of this, or like give me more of that, and you're actually having like a back and forth in trying to refine what you're looking for in English, like in actual just natural English, which is, I like it. And then also, because of what these services are, I don't just blindly trust what they say. Yep. Now, the thing is, I should never have trusted Google this way either, but I did, right? Like, but I'm more likely to check sources. Like, I was looking for some restaurants a couple of days ago, and it wasn't really giving me what I wanted, but there was one interesting article, and it had a link, and I clicked through on the link and then just browsed the website for like 20 minutes. Like, because it took me to like what looked like a website that would have more answers for me to just click around on. But like the problem is with like that, and what I like about it is it really gets to the heart of like what the SEO industry is like trying to make hard for me. Like it can search tons of lists and tons of websites and like cut out a lot of the stuff that is trying to just get my eye, you know? Or it's, you know, it can cut out the 20 paragraphs of description before a recipe or whatever, you know? And so I feel like this stuff is especially good for things like products you're looking to buy, restaurants you want recommendations for, because it really, it just does like such a broad search and can like correlate and collate answers that appear in a bunch of places. So I found this to be really good at, I think, making me better at searching, because I'm not just blindly trusting the first response or whatever the snippet is, like, which is how I trusted Google.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm getting more information. I can refine it in a way that is natural, and then also use the sourcing, and it does a way better job of sourcing than Google does, I believe. ChatGPT does. And I could just kind of click through and then go to the websites and get what I want. So I really like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I also largely replaced Google search with ChatGPT search, and I have noticed the same behavior in myself. Like I'm actually clicking through the sources more, and I don't know, maybe it's a byproduct of the fact that I don't necessarily blindly trust the AI not to hallucinate some kind of web results. But the thing is, like, the reality is I'm clicking through to websites more than I did with Google, where Google, you know, by extracting a little snippet, it sort of prevents you from having to click through in the first place. So it's making me rethink. It's making me rethink a little, like, if this is a better tool for people to find results and actually open those results, like, how should we approach this, you know, as Mac Stories, as a company? But as a user, like, I don't know, I found the next car I want to buy thanks to it, because I did a lot of research in natural language, like being able to compare, like, and being able to explain what is it that I actually want. And, you know, it brought up a bunch of different models, and we were able to pick like, it was honestly a great experience.
Thankfully, you didn't use Grok for that, or you would end up with a Cybertruck.
Yeah, exactly.
Powered by Memphis.
It doesn't matter what you ask for. Like, I would like to buy a moped. Have you considered a Cybertruck? I want to buy a boat. Have you considered Cybertruck?
It's just down the street from me. I could go, you know, unplug it.
You could go put a floppy disk in and load some good results up there.
It's good.
I'm gonna mention two things. The first one is the Steam Deck. I am really thankful for this handheld that can do everything without a lot of power. And for a long time, I prioritized, you know, more powerful handhelds, something like the Legion Go or the ROG Ally, to have a handheld with just a bit more specs. But ultimately, I always go back to the Steam Deck as sort of the baseline that is a bit of a jack of all trades. But in doing that, and in having SteamOS with the native suspend and resume, the friendly UI, the stability of the actual native SteamOS instead of like a fork, like Bazzite, for example.
Yep.
Valve really created a beautiful, balanced device with the Steam Deck that, you know, I've been playing Dragon Age, and sure, I gotta play Dragon Age at low to medium settings, but I can play Dragon Age and put it to sleep whenever I want and pick it up 2 days later and I'm still there. So there's something to that.
And you have the store, right? Like we were talking about earlier, right? Like it's just built right. And you have the OLED one, right?
I do.
Question for you. Sometimes things are so bright on that screen, I have to close my eyes. Do you ever have this? like a game flashes to white, like in Dragon Age or whatever. Like sometimes you go to a memory, it's like, oh god, like I have to close my eyes. It's so bright. It's amazing.
It's very bright. It's an incredible display. Yeah. I'm also gonna pick an AI thing. I've been on this kick for assistive AI products. I think I mentioned this on the show before. It's Claude 3.5 Sonnet. I've been using it a lot for like research and helping me with coding for Apple Frames too. Again, lots more details in the next app stories. But yeah, I've been using it for a lot of like me uploading a lot of like reference files. That's usually like my content or some of my files that I use for shortcuts, and being able to ask Claude questions in terms of like how would you do these things? When did I mention this thing in this story? Like being able to work with my data and to have a natural language conversation. I don't know. It makes me feel really empowered, and it doesn't make me feel uncomfortable about the fact that I'm using AI for these tasks. I also appreciate Claude and the principles that Anthropic has sort of established for the kind of AI that they want to make. It doesn't produce images, it doesn't produce music, it doesn't produce videos, and it doesn't have access to the internet, which is can be a bit of a downside, but that's why you can use multiple tools for different things. But yeah, Claude for sort of referencing my own projects, my own files, and also as an aid for coding. I can tell you, like, it's for my tests. It's been way better than ChatGPT, to the point where ChatGPT was actually failing. It was like producing multiple errors, and Claude just didn't care. So yeah, it's been a like it's just another tool in my toolbox, and a really good one at that.
Assistive over generative.
Yes,
that
yes,
is the key.
big time. Yeah, yeah.
For me, I mean, it's fresh in my mind, but I'm really enjoying my new networking at home. The Ubiquiti stuff I put in. I had several people ask me, and I thought I said what I had installed, but a bunch of people were like, "Hey, what'd you install?" So I guess I didn't say it. So I am running as my router the. Oh gosh, I'm trying to log in. Oh, come on, Unify. The Cloud Gateway Ultra as my router. I've got two switches, the USW Ultra 210 watt. I got one of those in the house and one in the office. And then my wireless access points are the U7 Pro wall. So the ones that are wall mounted, not ceiling mounted. And I got several of those. So that's what I'm running. Really enjoying it. In fact, I talk about on the Mac Power Users that comes out on Sunday in the bonus segment for members. We talked about HomeKit. I was like, there's part of me that's kind of tempted to go down the road of like the Ubiquiti like cameras and stuff and get rid of my Ring things, but I don't think they really offer everything that I would want to replace. But it's interesting that they offer all that stuff. So definitely enjoying that. It's one of those things, like I set it up, I've tinkered with it a little bit. A few people sent me a couple of articles like, hey, here's some things to kind of look out for. And because it is pro level stuff, right? Like you can go and like change all sorts of parameters, and very much enjoying that. The other thing I thought of was the Boox Palma, because I've already forgotten that I own it. I was very excited about it. I was very excited about it.
You're thankful for it, but you forgot about it?
Well, I mean, so when putting this list together, I was like, oh, like what tech did I get this year? I was like, oh, the Boox Palma. I was like, oh yeah, it's dead in a drawer. It's just hard to beat the Kindle. Sorry, Boox.
Wait, Hang on. I'm sorry. I'm struggling to follow here.
Yeah.
So you had put it in, but forgot you had it.
No. So I was thinking about the list. I was like, just like what is new in my tech life this year? Books Palma is new. Oh, right. I don't actually use it. So
it's very unaspirational.
It is.
Thanks.
A little e-ink smartphone is great.
There is a version of me that would like this.
Yeah. It's like the Paperwhite's so good. And although I am interested in, I know Jason kind of didn't like it, but I am very interested in the color Kindle. So
yeah,
I actually have one on order, but it's not shipping for like 6 weeks or something. So I'm going to review that on 5/12 in the new year. And then the last one is kind of, it's a vibe, it's a feeling. And I think it's one reason, like once I typed this out, I was like, oh, maybe this is one reason I feel so weird about all these text-based social media networks like coming into their own again. Is like we had like a resurgence of blogging this year. Like people were excited about having their own sites and owning their writing, right? And some of this is, I'm in some circles that are pretty anti-Substack of like, own your own thing. And I 100% agree with that. Like have published under my own banner for 16 years. Like strong believer in this. Federico and I never left. Everyone else left us. We're still blogging. We're still here.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like there's renewed interest in publishing on your own site. And I have really found some real gems of some writers in the last year or so. Some writing about tech and tech history, some writing about other things. But it never it feels like it's enjoying a moment. And I hope that Mastodon/Thread/Blue Sky doesn't kill that. In fact, I experienced this because my iPhone mirroring blog post that we talked about 2 hours ago, that was just a thing I put on social media, and people were asking me questions about it. I was like, oh, like that should have been a blog post. And like, I have struggled with that in the past of like what goes where. And it's just easy to get into your own head about that. But I feel like blogging's having a moment here in 2024. Would not have expected it. And I hope that doesn't fade again with the resurgence of short form text-based social media. I think that is it for this week. Thank you, listeners, for spending time with us. We are very thankful for you and your continued listenership and support of our show. We've been doing this a long time, and it's a real joy to get to sit down and talk and then have y'all come along for it. So thank you very much from all three of us. If you want to find us on social media, look, you just have to search now. Like,
yeah, how? Like, I honestly, at this point, I think the move is just to say we're on Blue Sky, Threads, and Mastodon. It's like, I just think now. Look, I know people keep saying it's not a problem. No, Blue Sky's naming system is madness.
It's bad.
It's like they chose every wrong way, like of making it searchable.
I bought a domain this week to set it up.
Try and try and type into a URL bar what you think my URL would be. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you forgot that it's actually bsky.app and not bluesky.com. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, dude, I've typed that a lot.
/user or profile, right? That's actually, it's not profile's the word that you would use. Oh, okay. Like it's impossible. So you just got to search for people now. We're all on the places. You just got to find us. You can find us. We believe in you. You're strong. I trust you.
Yeah. Vitici, iMyke, and ISMH86. Just plug that into any search field.
Yeah, but you see, I'm not iMyke on Blue Sky.
Yeah, but they'll find you. Right. iMyke,
just search our names. You know our names.
Oh yeah, no, it's somebody else.
Search the names.
Search our names.
Search the names.
Search our names. Find us. Say hi. Say hi on social media.
That's how we know you found us, if you say hi.
That's true. If you have feedback or follow-up for the show, the best way to submit that is through our website. There's a link in the show notes, and you can find it at relay.fm/connected/feedback. We are running a membership sale right now. You can get a year of Connected Pro for 20% off at giverelay.com. Connected Pro is the longer ad-free version of the show that we do each and every week. Thank you all who are members of our show or any other show here on Relay. Now's a great time to support your favorite podcasters. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week, ZocDoc, Ecamm, Squarespace, and Masterclass. You can learn more about them in the show notes. And until next time, guys, say goodbye.
Arrivederci.
Cheerio.
Bye, y'all.